House Church kids. I am so excited for today because we just have so much planned for y'all in your house churches to play together and ideas to help you remember this verse that we're going to learn in Philippians and what it means. So let's get started. And before we get into our Bible verse, we're just going to play a fun game together. And that game is very cleverly named Animal Walks. What you're going to do is you're going to get your supplies that I sent to each of your house churches, and you're going to find an assortment of little cards that just have animal names on them. You're going to collect all those up and you're going to put them, your leader is going to collect all those because you don't want to see them. You're going to put them in a cup or a bowl or a Halloween bucket so that you can play. Now each child is going to draw one card and read it to themselves, face it down, and then whatever animal was on their card, they're going to walk across the room that you're in acting like that animal until one of you others can guess what the animal is. Everyone's going to take a turn doing that and have fun being silly. Pause the video as soon as you're ready to play the game. Okay, welcome back. I hope you had so much fun being so silly and being animals. And now we are going to get into our discussion questions that we do every week. And this week we have 3 questions. So I'm going to tell you each question and you'll pause the video to answer after each question. Question number 1. If you could be any animal, what animal would you choose to be and why? Go ahead and pause. Okay, question number 2. What is question number 2? Oh, very simple. What did you do yesterday? Yesterday was a holiday that some people celebrate, and a lot of people just celebrate it differently. And I want to know what you did, and I want your friends to talk about what you did this weekend. So go ahead and pause. Question number 2, what did you do yesterday? Okay. Question number 3, and your last discussion question. And all of these questions, I want you to take as much time as you need to talk and make sure that everybody gets a turn to talk. Question number 3 is, tell us about a time that you worked really hard towards a goal. Maybe the goal was to learn how to ride a bike. Maybe it was to learn a song to sing in front of people. Maybe it was a really big hike, to get to the end of a big hike. I want you guys to go ahead, pause the video, and talk about what is a goal that you've had to work really hard to reach. And go. Welcome back from your discussion questions. I hope you had fun talking and getting to know each other a little bit more. Question number 3 was, what is a goal that you've had to work really hard towards in your life? And I just want to share about some of my goals. I've had a lot of goals in my life, and some of them I've worked really hard toward. And there's one goal that I think we all share. And that goal is to be like Jesus. But it's kind of a funny goal, because can we really be like Jesus? We can't be perfect. But it's still a goal for us to keep trying to be more like Jesus. God tells us that we can keep pressing on. He tells us we can keep trying to be more like Jesus, and that He will forgive us when we mess up along the way. He tells us that He also will do the work in our hearts because we're not capable of it. He will do the work in our hearts to make us look more like Jesus. So we're going to play some games. We're going to read the Bible verse. We're going to read some stories. And first things first, let's read the Bible verse. I want you guys to pause the video, and someone somewhere, I'm sure in your house church, has a Bible on their phone or with them, and they're going to read the Bible verse to you. Today's Bible verse is Philippians 3:13 through 14. Go ahead and pause to read the Bible verse together. Okay, welcome back. That was an interesting verse, huh? It says to keep pressing on towards the goal and the prize. Keep pressing on towards that goal and prize that is Jesus. It says that we need to keep going towards that goal. And it says that when we strive to be like Jesus, it is God who's changing our hearts when we become more like Jesus. So it says, work your hardest, try to be like Jesus. But in the end, give that glory to Jesus because he's the one who made it so. Okay, I want to tell you guys a story about a goal I once had when I was a little girl. I played basketball when I was little. And from the time I was 5 or 6 years old, and actually for my 6th birthday, my parents got me my first basketball hoop. And from the time I got that basketball hoop, I played basketball every day, all day. I would wake up in the morning, ding, and I would run outside and I would play basketball with only breaks to eat, do whatever my mommy told me to do. And I would play straight through till it was dark outside and my mommy and daddy would make me come back inside so I could go to bed. I loved it. It was my favorite thing. I wonder if any of you like basketball or like anything that much, that you just want to do it all the time. So anyway, I loved basketball. And guess what? Because I played basketball all day and all night, I got really good. So I had this goal that I wanted to be like my basketball hero. When I grew up, I was going to be as good at basketball as my hero, whose name was Katie Douglas, who was a basketball player on the college team in my town. So here I was, so good at basketball. I had my goal. And then years later, I started on my first team. And my parents put me in mid-season. So the first day that I went in to my first basketball practice, it was actually a game. And do you want to know what happened? I was so excited to show everyone how good I was. And I got on the basketball court and I realized I had been playing by myself that entire time. All day, every day, I got really good at shooting the basketball, but I had no idea what the rules were of the game. I had no idea how to play on a team. So I embarrassed myself. I mixed up all the rules. I never knew what I was doing in that game. And at the end of the game, there were 5 seconds on the clock, and I was under a hoop. And I thought to myself, our hoop is on the opposite end of the court. And I looked back and my coach was yelling, shoot it, Katie. And I thought, okay, I'm a really good shot. I'll try to shoot the ball from across the basketball court. And so I shot it and I made it. And then everyone on my team put their hands in their face and said, oh no, because I didn't know that our team's basketball hoops had switched sides at that point, and I shot it into the wrong team's basketball hoop. So I was crushed. I just wanted to quit. And when I read this Bible verse, it reminded me of that. It reminded me of that story of my life because for a lot of reasons. Because I wanted to look back and quit, but if I look back on some mistakes that I made and just quit, do I really love basketball? I would be quitting, and all that time, I didn't really love basketball. I loved people's approval of how good I was. So I needed to press on and keep working on it and learn better how to play basketball. But I needed to not look back at the mistakes I made. I needed to learn from them, but I needed to not let them keep me from moving on and just playing basketball because I love basketball. And in the same way, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and all of us do. And I don't look back on those and think, I have to quit God because God is so big and He won't forgive me. God forgives me every time, and He says that He loves me and that I'm clean, and I can keep moving on just because I love Jesus and He loves me. Okay, so let's also read a devotional that has to do with this Bible verse, and it's from Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing. And I'm going to come as close as I can so that maybe you can see. Okay, as you can see, let's just get really close. There's a picture of people in a race. And the Bible verse is a different Bible verse. It's from Hebrews. Everybody say Hebrews. Hebrews 12:2. Jesus, the champion who, because of the joy awaiting Him, endured the cross. The Bible says life is like running a race. It's kind of what our verse says. But only one person has ever run that race perfectly. Jesus came to earth as a man and ran the race of life. Even though his heart broke, He never stopped. He kept running. And even when it led to the cross, to His death. Why? Because He was running for a prize, for the joy set before Him. What prize? Jesus was God. He already had everything. What could He possibly need? What joy did He not already have in heaven that He had to come to earth to get, that He could only get by dying on the cross? You. That was the thing. You are Jesus's prize. You are His joy. You are what He came to win. And that is why our Bible verse also says that Jesus is not only the goal, but He is the prize. He's what we're striving towards, and the joy of Him loving us and us loving Him, that's the prize too. And this is great news, you guys. I'm really excited about this. Okay, let's move on to a game that you're gonna play together that just is a game about racing towards a goal. So we're gonna do some racing games. And what you need for this, I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way, is simply the train or track or race car tape that's in your kit, a straw that's in your kit, and each person needs one of these little fuzz balls. And what you're gonna do is you're going to get your tape. Everyone's gonna have their own little section of the room or outside in the garage, wherever you happen to be. And make sure it's an okay place for the people who own the house. Ask them first if it's okay to put tape where you're going. Each kid is going to have a section, and you're going to make your very own track from one end to the other. It can be straight, it can be zigzag, it can look however you want, as long as it goes all the way to the other end of the room or where you've decided is the start and finish. So I'm just going to do this as an example. Here's my race tape. There it is. Here's my fuzzball. And someone is going to count down 3, 2, 1, and you're going to blow your fuzzball. Make sure you stay on the track. If you stay on the track, you got to put it back on the track and then keep going. So that's going to be the tricky part. And you're going to blow it to the opposite end all the way to the finish lane. And when you get it to the opposite end, you can each have a prize and play this game over and over again and win lots of prizes. Ready? You want to see me do it? Hey, this is harder than it looks. Okay, so my track was really short. I want yours to be a lot longer and a lot more difficult. But have fun playing that game. Have fun winning prizes. I also want to let you know that if you have a lot of time left over, it might be a fun idea to take all those cards of animals that you were playing with in the beginning and get them out and play a game where you race acting like each animal. So your leader will pick a card and you'll pick the start and the finish places, and you're going to crawl like a bear as fast as you can and try to beat the other kids to the finish lane. So yeah, have fun doing that if you have extra time. And I hope that you just have such a good time with your house church. I hope that you take a moment to look into the other room where your parents are and see them worshiping Jesus, and that it changes your heart to see that, and that it changes your heart to be around these people who love you and pray for you. And I'll be praying for you today as well. And I'll see you next week.